Valley. Good morning, Valley Voices and Vices. Nice to see you this morning. It's a nice attendance, too. I would like to recognize guests. And we have Etta, our standing guest. Good morning. We also have past District Director Maria Martinez-Rios, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we also have D. George Lund, past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster as well. Any other guests pop in that I didn't see? I have it on speaker view. I'll put it back on gallery view. The mission of Valley Voices and Vices is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Are there any unfinished business? Just a reminder that Lori sent out an email for our schedule next week or next month. If you can reply to her for roles that you want to do. Also, we have our installation of officers next month or next week, actually the 2nd, we will be meeting. And George, it sounded like you met with Jim at the credit union, and we're still just waiting until fall.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Are there any officer reports? Francisca, how was the meeting on Saturday?
It was very insightful, a lot of great information. I've got notes, so I need to get ready. Thanks for the support, Jennifer. I don't know what I'm getting into, but okay.
So maybe maybe this week, which is going to be really hard for Cynthia, but we need to, you and I can get together and do the passwords and everything of our social media accounts and all of that stuff. So it's the 1st or over the weekend. If you want to get together, let me know what your availability is. So over the weekend might be better if you're available. So like the 3rd, even the 4th, try to get together in the morning or something and exchange passwords and stuff for all of our accounts. Okay.
So which meeting was this on the public relations?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, George.
I know that we talked about doing something special on the 5th meeting in July.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of decided that we thought we might do a debate. So I think we need to have everyone submit to Jennifer a couple of topics that you think we might want to discuss. And as you all know, I think everyone should participate. I'd be more than happy to be the moderator. So it's a 2 to 3 minute, either a pro or con against the subject. And I think everyone should participate. It's a nice way to understand the whole debate process. And sometimes you have to defend a point or a side that you're not really comfortable with. So it's a challenge. So I think that I would suggest people submit a couple of topics to Jennifer. And then maybe at next week's meeting, we can kind of narrow that down to a topic that everyone is okay with and move forward. That way people have enough time to do some research and prepare. So.
Thank you, George. That was supposed to be on my theme to do today at our executive board meeting this morning. That and also our unique proposition. We need to think about our unique proposition, what makes us unique. And maybe that way that Francisca can work on a theme of who we are as well. So if I will send out an email on that. So look for that this weekend so we can do pros and cons of topics for our debate. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun. And then also our unique proposition, and then we can start working on that as our theme to get people interested in, why come to Valley Voices and Bison as well. Thanks, George. Forgot about that. And then I'll break up our meetings a little bit. Let's have some fun. The cheerleader. All right. Is there anything else going on? Lori just messaged me and said that she is not feeling good. Oh, she messaged George too. So migraine and vomiting, not going to be good. So we need to look at Maria is our Toastmaster. So we'll look at the agenda and see where we can make some adjustments. So let's welcome Maria Martinez-Riot.
Thank you, Madam President, and good morning, everyone. As Jennifer just mentioned, let's look at the agenda first because Tanya is not here. Although she did reply yesterday, and so I expected that she would be here. And so we need a general evaluator if Tanya does not show up, and an evaluator. Now, let's see, Francisca, you have to leave early. And
I'll step in and do GE.
yeah, George can be the G. Nicole, I know you're doing table topics, but can you be the evaluator also? If,
Absolutely,
since Lori is not here,
absolutely. I
that
was
would be
trying to
great.
speak up for GE, but I was on mute, so George.
So George can pick up. If Tanya shows up, that I hope because she did reply, so.
Okay, either way, I'm.
If not, George can cover the general evaluator role, and Nicole has graciously agreed to be the evaluator. Now, Jennifer, in the meantime, you're gonna have to get to her your evaluation form.
Okay, so Francisca said she will evaluate. Is that what I just heard?
Nicole.
Oh, Nicole. Sorry.
No, Francisca has to leave early, so I didn't want to push you back in the meeting. Okay, I chose the theme back from COVID for fairly obvious reasons. It's been a long, long year, but it seems like we were starting to open up, and all of a sudden it seems like the floodgates open because things are just happening. In fact, I haven't looked at the paper today, but big news, we opened up a huge resort last night in Las Vegas. And I actually drove by it yesterday, not because I really wanted to, but I drove in front of it yesterday, and there they were, the workers finishing up sweeping the sidewalks, and you could see the block area where they were going to be ready to just pull them open and let the traffic come in last night. So I'm hoping that it was all very successful. That place is huge.
What is
If
it?
you have the Resorts World, the new
Okay.
property that opened last night,
Okay.
Not in the old Stardust property.
Okay.
it is just huge. But so many things that I'm just happy to have back, and one of them is live performances. I don't mean the clubs and things like that, but one of the things we have in Sun City is a classical music club, and the club itself, the members don't perform, although I know there's some really good musicians in there, but they bring people from the community, classical performance, and they have been doing a great job of bringing excellent musicians. Next Monday is our very first concert back live. And there's a pianist that I love to listen to, and it's just fun to see back together. George said in reply to my theme, he said, the ability to meet in person and in groups. And it's so nice to be able to look at people really face to face and not through some screen. Please welcome our War Master Grammarian this morning, D. George Lund.
Thank you, Maria. So on Monday, when I got Maria's email, I decided that I would try to see if I could find some kind of word that would convey what she was trying to do with her theme. So the word of the day today is restore. It's a verb. It means to bring back into existence, to bring back to a former, original, or normal condition, to bring back to a state of health, to put back to a former place. To use it in a sentence, Las Vegas is in the process of restoring the city to all its glitz and glamour. So please try to use the word today, and I will keep track and provide a report at the end of the meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Our minute master this morning, I guess I should say she is the new farmer in training after looking at some of the things she's posted on Facebook. She's gonna be, who knew Francisca was going to be a farm girl, but there she is, getting trained up in Tennessee. But in the meantime, she's also going to be our new public relations officer. I think Francisca's just loving it. She's gonna love to do that job. Please welcome our minute master this morning, Francisca Suarez.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Continuing with our theme of coming back from COVID and restoring our city back to its glory, just wanted to share something some of us can relate to this past year. And here we go. We learned some new terms that kept coming up and we kept hearing over and over, such as flattening the curve, social distancing, hand hygiene, remote learning, remote work, the new normal, and how plexiglass became an overnight sensation and very pricey. We got to flaunt a new wardrobe edition, a mask. There were surgical masks, loop mask, fancy designer mask, glitter mask, gaiters, the infamous N95 or the KN95. Employers like us got to become intimately involved with fit testing to comply with OSHA's respiratory program requirement, just to find out some of the KN95s were knockoffs and pretty much worthless. Some other lessons learned include realizing that family matters more than we realized. We have unleashed a revolution in medicine. Telehealth works and is here to stay. Self-care is not self-indulgence. COVID-19 is also meant the extra 19 pounds we gained staying at home during this last year. We befriended technology and there's no going back. Look at us Zooming here week after week. Work is now anywhere. It could be Tennessee one day. The crowds will return, but will gather carefully. I'm not quite sure how Resort World did with their gathering last night, but I'm sure the news will show us soon. Loneliness hurts our health more than we thought that it would. When your world gets small, nature let us live large. Humans are inherently kind and resilient. And that was my list. So I ask you to ponder, what has COVID done for you in a positive way? For me, it has given me a renewed appreciation for the simpler things in life, realizing that the greatest wealth is to live content with little, to appreciate each day as it comes, and have faith that all will be well again. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Francisca. Thank you. I think that this whole COVID is obviously such a huge experience in different ways. For everybody's experience was the same, but different. And I just hope that we can continue to restore our faith in human beings. Because there's plenty, excuse me, plenty of bad going around all the time. Plenty of bad, but if we stay focused on the positive, we can make it. Before we go on with table topics, I do want to mention Peggy Prince is our timer this morning. And Peggy said that she's happy that I will be happy to see air travel back again. She can get on a direct flight home. I'm assuming that's going to be either Allegiant or one of those regional carriers. But air travel is back, except people are not behaving so well on those airplanes. They're causing all kinds of commotions. We need to behave better and not pick on the flight attendants. Our topics master, who was in Houston, in Austin, but is not. She's in Las Vegas this morning. But we never know because the waterfall doesn't change, so we don't know where it's coming from. So I'm so glad you are able to join us this morning. Please welcome our topics master, Nicole Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest Etta. I am somewhat grateful for COVID in the sense I thought I was going to lose my Toastmasters family, but it allowed me to stay in more than one way. So I'm glad to hear that we won't be returning back until fall, because I will be popping in and out because my business is still here. As your topics master, I will be asking a question, but I will read a quote first, and I will ask you, how does this relate to you in the sense of being restored or how you restored yourself? So Callie Host said, telecommuting, one of the many forms of work-life flexibility, should no longer be viewed as a nice to have, optional perk mostly used by working moms. These common stereotypes do not really match, allowing employees to remotely work as a core business strategy today. We need to de-parent, de-gender, de-age the perception of the flexible worker. What does this mean to you, Etta?
Could you,
The flexible worker, we need to de-parent, de-gender, de-age the perception of the flexible worker because of the pandemic. What does this mean to you?
work could be done virtually or in the, no, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, it's okay. It's all right.
We have had to work virtually. Some of us are still not fortunate to have a job anymore. I'm working on it. My main job is to look for work right now.
Mm.
I'm hoping that I can have a job in an office or anywhere that would get me in touch with people. It would restore my confidence in myself. I'm a lot farther along than I was obviously a year ago. When I felt I'd lost everything, it's coming back. Plus some new and interesting things. But I'm hoping that I will be working again. Thank you.
Thank you, Etta. Very much so. Marie Curie said, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. What does this mean to you, Francesca?
That's a very interesting quote. I love it. Fear is just what you make of it. If you just embrace the silver lining that may come with what may scare you, I think it will balance out to calm the fear. It is something that will always be there, I'm sure. There's always some type of fear, but you can overcome it as you gain some more knowledge of what really is the trigger. And I think that at some point you will accept what you need to accept, let go of the fear, and continue to move forward with whatever that may be. And that is my response.
Thank you, Francesca. Sounds like you've had some restorative work done during this process. Losing your head in a crisis is a good way to become a crisis. What do you have to say about that, George?
Madam Topic Master, oh boy, is that a true statement. I think we've all had that experience at one time or another. I know that I have, when your emotions just literally take over everything, your mind, your body. And I think you end up regretting that you let all of that affect you so negatively. And I think it's important that you try to restore yourself to a place that you can stop and think before you react. And I think that's easier said than done, or it's harder than it is. It's not easy. I think sometimes we all get to a point where we just are so frazzled, but by whatever the subject is, that it makes it impossible for you to control yourself. And I think that that's part of the growing up process, because I know as kids go off the deep end over absolutely nothing. My little grandson was so upset last weekend because his dad couldn't find the place where they were going to have tennis lessons. And so he was all bummed out because they were going back a couple hours later and the bigger kids would be there and he didn't want to have to play with the bigger kids because they hit the ball too hard. And, you know, it's one of those things where he just tried to be patient with him and said, well, you know, this is the first time you're just starting out. And so you're not going to be hitting against the big kids. And it turned out that it was okay. But I think as adults, we need to forget all of those things and try to be as normal as possible and to try to control those things. Very hard to do. Madam Toastmaster, topic master.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George. Heather Marsh said, we're all, or we're going, or we will be going through the most radical transformation in the world, whatever the world has ever seen. People are justly terrified, excited, depressed, heartbroken, and hopeful all at once. Back from COVID, aligning with Maria's topic and knowing that this is a serious but delicate situation of COVID-19. I've seen so much of the horrific devastation that it's brought, but being the optimistic person that I am, is bringing me great joy to see people heal. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nicole. Peggy, may we have a timers report? You're on mute.
Sorry, I couldn't get my screen to move over so I could find the microphone.
I could see that you knew.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Our timers report. Edda, I have to compliment you on your perfect timing. She spoke about working on working, And your timer here managed to time the minute master, but when you came on, I was so busy watching those little seconds fly by, I realized, oh, I didn't change the screen for her. So you spoke for 1 minute and 26 seconds. That's right on. That's a great talent to have if you kind of know your inner sense of timing. Then Francesca spoke about fear is what you make of it for 48 seconds. And George spoke for panic in a crisis about big kids hitting the ball too hard for 1 minute and 39 seconds. So everybody qualified. We're using the 30-second window, right?
I don't know what, sorry,
I'm
I
over.
lost it.
I'm over.
George is over.
So
Oh, because is it 31 minute and 1.5 minutes? Because I thought it had been expanded at one point to a minute, but minimum
well,
time.
30, 60, 90, but I spoke for 99 seconds, so I'm over.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
So it's Eda and Francisca,
And who gets the votes?
Me,
Peggy. Right,
Go ahead.
Peggy's timing.
in the chat, put your vote.
Send
for
your
Beth Tabletop.
email, send your choice to Peggy on the chat. Okay. Before we go on with our speaker today, I want to share with you what Tanya and Lori had commented on, because they did send me something. Tanya said, the one thing I am happy for is that people are not as fearful and just getting back to life. We're all accustomed to wearing our masks. So for those that who still feel more comfortable wearing them can do so, and it doesn't mean life has to stop. Just happy to see the energy of people again. And Lori's, and I think you know Lori well enough to see why she would write this. I am ecstatic that T-Mobile Arena is back open and I can attend Vegas Golden Knights hockey games. With many other venues like the Smith Center still closed, this is my entertainment and I absolutely thrive on it. I have attended many of the playoff games and it is so exhilarating to be back cheering for the team. I have renewed my Broadway and Las Vegas Philharmonic season tickets at the Smith Center is expected to open this fall. That would be a breath of fresh air when the arts are back live and not on screen. I agree with her. I hope to go to see the Philharmonic at least once this season. No season tickets for me, but at least once. Now we go on to the speaking portion of the meeting. Our speaker today is Jennifer Smith, and Nicole has graciously agreed to be the evaluator. Nicole, do we know Jennifer's objectives?
Sorry, Madam Toastmaster. Can I send Nicole to a breakout room with me for like 1 minute?
Sure, we will
Tell
take.
her, remember those days we used to talk about our
No.
speeches face to face?
Who does the breakout rooms?
I have it. I'm gonna assign to her. So she and I are gonna go.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Come back.
So Nicole. And then and then can I move me to room 2? I'm gonna see if I can just go. Nicole, hit accept. Yeah. And then
I
Okay.
received an invitation.
don't go.
No, I'm not going. I don't want to go with you. I'm gonna say not now. I'm going to say not now.
Can't go. Darn it. Maybe I'm gonna send you all and bring Nicole back.
Cause see, we have all day.
Well, just closed it. I can't, because I can't see me. I don't know why I can't go. Oh, you know why I can't go?
Is you the hostess?
Because I'm the host.
George, can you be the host?
I
Or are
am
you-
the co-host.
And so now he has to do it, but never mind. I will tell you guys out loud, or so that all of you guys can hear, because I don't know if George can take us to the breakout room. Can you take us to a breakout room? If not, because I wanted it to be like really, really quick. All right, so my PowerPoint is, I helped create it, but it is definitely a corporate slide. And in my evaluation, it does say that I create a slide, but I helped create the slide. So I'm going to work through our PowerPoint presentation, and it is a work presentation. So
I can't do that. It won't let me. You don't show up because I think he's the host, but it doesn't
Okay.
show you.
that's fine.
Sorry.
So that was just, I wanted to have Nicole do that.
Right, but we want to, before you get started, whether it's we hear from you or we hear it from Nicole, if you can tell us the paths and the title, so we know what it's about, so we know what we're looking for here,
Yes,
Okay, so may I?
yes.
please.
Okay.
Yes.
The title of Jennifer's speech is Wire Fraud is Real. And the length of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And the purpose of the project is for Jennifer to introduce a basic presentation of software strategies, which she's willingly admit is her and some other wonderful person creating and using slides to enhance her speech. And it's to demonstrate of how to use presentation software. Jennifer, wire fraud is real.
What path?
I don't have that.
Oh, sorry, presentation mastery, and it is level 3 elective. And George, if you can allow me to share the screen.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. Let me see here. How do I do that?
So go to share screen,
Yeah.
say allow multiple people to share screen.
Okay.
Look at that. Let's see if I can get that.
There you go.
You guys see my screen?
Yes, but we see your email. Go back to the other one.
Always see my email.
We don't want to see that.
It came up, but then it switched to your email.
You see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
I try to minimize my email before. It should be in. Wow. As much as I do this all day long, you would think that I would be on the right screen and start my slide. So. See, I miss those days of being able to be prepared. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, Nicole, and fellow Toastmasters. Today, I am going to prepare you on the life cycle of wire fraud. In my business, we have to deal with incoming and outgoing wires. And when we do, we have to protect our consumers in regards to wire fraud. And what we do is we try to educate realtors and lenders the reason why we ask for certain items so that we can protect the consumer. I want to give you a little presentation of what we give to the realtors on that note. Wire fraud. Criminals begin with committing wire fraud way before realtors and buyers and sellers and even title and escrow companies and mortgage companies know of. The criminals are out there with realtors saying, hey, I just took a listing, to realtors then stating, hey, I'm in escrow. They are following along a journey of realtors, the journey that realtors are taking when they are dealing with their clients. And how they do this is that they are incorporating and stealing, I want to say hacking into realtors' emails and then creating a way to have the emails forwarded to them. So while the realtors are online stating, hey, I just took a listing, then ding, the fraudster says, wow, we've got an escrow that's getting ready to happen. So they're watching when the realtors are negotiating with each other and the realtor is communicating back to the buyer, and then they're communicating with the seller. And then they said, they're communicating with the seller. And then once it's in escrow, boom, they see that email. Great, it's my opportunity to be able to intercept that conversation with the buyer. Dear Mr. Buyer, you will hear from Jennifer at Lawyers Title, and here is the wire instructions. Signed, Realtor. Buyer takes that, and then they go straight to the bank with the fraudster's bank account. Now, we educate our buyers, we educate our agents, and we tell them, do not take any other instructions from anybody. And Lawyers Title is going to be the account information. Buyers are so excited that they got their home, especially in this market, like George and I had a conversation about earlier. They're just not paying any attention. Thanks, wire them $3,000 directly to whatever it says here. So it can say Jennifer Smith, DBA, LTIC, because that's an acronym for us. And the buyer didn't even pay any attention to whose name was on the account. Boom, the money is gone. Whose responsibility is it? It's not the title companies because they didn't send out those wire instructions. It's not the realtor, maybe because they didn't protect their client. They didn't protect their equipment. So I wanted to show you how the fraudsters are doing this. It's kind of interesting. If you look at this message right here, it shows it says Chicago Title. If you look at the email, it doesn't say Chicago Title anywhere. So when you're getting emails, you need to hover over the from to make sure it's from the company that you are working with. It's not Chicago Title on this one, Chicago Title 1. It's not Controller 1. It doesn't relate to the company. They also get realtors by asking them to click on that attachment. Don't click on any attachment. The new thing now is that, and it's called phishing emails. The new thing now is text messages. I received a text message the other day that said, hey, your Facebook page is being, something that you posted is not for our community, Facebook community. Please click here now or call now to discuss. Well, I know nothing that I post is anything derogatory. And knowing, because I'm in this business, that somebody's phishing, so I just deleted it. So if it doesn't sound right, don't click on it. Check your email rules. George and I did this about a year ago when he was getting, when his friends were getting suspicious emails. And I asked him to go into the background of his email rules to check the forwarding. Check your forwarding, because that's where the fraudsters are. So periodically, just check and see if somebody is forwarding emails unbeknownst to you on to their emails. So those are the fraudsters that would do that. So if you do not know how to check forwarding emails, just Google forward emails, and then Yahoo, Gmail, and all of your accounts. AOLs will show you how to do that. And then this is how you actually do it to correct it. Do not let people forward. Then again, know who your emails, these are spoofed emails. This is where it's showing another account, and then it looks like an email, but it's at gmail.com. Okay, this is just stating that there is a wire out there in the amount of, and just wire to me. No. And then, as I explained, this is the correct email address, and that's why it looks so close, and why somebody would just click on it and go, oh, it must be my person. And then below, it's not. It's spoofing. And we get those a lot personally too, right? Check your headers, what time people are sending emails. If I work late, then I actually will not send out a late email. I'll delay it for the next day. You also get phone calls where people sound just like us. And they will say, hi, it's Jennifer. I sent you wire instructions, and it'll sound just like us, because there's apps that actually allow people to change their voices. So if it's somebody from Russia or India with a distinct accent, correct? And now they can sound like they're American citizens, US citizens. On that note, I just want to share with you, in 2018, there has been over 20,000 complaints to the FBI with adjusted losses over $1.2 billion in wire losses. This is 1,100% increase from 2015 to 2017, and rising every day. I suggest that you talk to your clients about wire fraud, and that our wire instructions will never change, and have them understand about spoofing emails. On that note, I will return contact back to our Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm still trying to digest all that you just said. And I know that it shouldn't surprise me, but it is staggering numbers when you present it. May we have a timers report, Peggy?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, we found the microphone buried under all those screens. Jennifer spoke for 9 minutes and 14 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Very interesting, though. I would like to hear more.
Very interesting. It is time now to hand control of the meeting over to our general evaluator. And on that role this morning, please welcome D. George Lund.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Great meeting, great theme today, Maria. Really enjoyed the information that you shared and also using information from each of our people on the agenda to do your introductions. Jennifer, we started on time. You introduced the guests and the dignitaries. You read our mission statement. We talked about thinking about debate topics for our 5th meeting in July. And you talked also about coming up with a theme so people have a better understanding of why they need to join Valley Voices and Vices. So I thought you did a nice job today. Now back to Maria. Great theme, as I said. We'll get a Wordmaster grammarian report later on here. Francesca, all the things that we've learned from COVID, very interesting where you got all of that information. I think she's probably gone. Nicole, great topics today, using quotes to make us think before we speak. So I thought that was really good. Jennifer, very interesting and timely speech as we're all submitted and what's the word I want? Susceptible to fraudsters all the time. So let's get a evaluation from Nicole for Jennifer's presentation. Please help me welcome Nicole.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and most especially Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you for always bringing us information that is enlightening and informative. You always, I'm always excited to know what you're going to talk about. And wire fraud is something that people don't think happens anymore until they're affected. You excelled at always showing up with a big, enormous, ginormous smile that really warms people up and is very inviting. And it's very pleasant for connecting with people because they're excited to know what you're talking about. Your speech was extremely informative. Your presentation was good. And I could have listened longer. It was very good. And it's restored my faith in people like you that gives me the information that I need to move forward to purchase anything, commercial or residential real estate. You may want to work on, when you're delivering a speech, is preparation. You may want to call a mentor, Toastmaster mentor, and says, hey, I want to practice this, putting you in the room or making sure my slides are okay. And just being prepared. We can always, that's what perfect practice does. Perfect practice makes perfect. So working on practicing that. Another thing you probably will want to work on is positioning your upper torso in the Zoom screen, because body language speaks louder than verbal language. We can see your gestures. We can see your hand gestures. We can see your movement, and you know how lively you are in person. I do miss us being in person, but we can get the whole shebang of Jennifer. You can challenge yourself by what I said earlier so that you can have a smooth transitions with your slides. Your vocal clarity is always fantastic. Your vocal variety was good. Your slides were excellent. The colors were good. The pictorials were good. And everyone in the audience was interested. I didn't see anybody scrolling away from the screen or looking, rolling their eyes in the back of their head and things of that nature. And your topic was very, very good. So thank you for an excellent speech. Thank you for informing us always in all things real estate. And I've sent your evaluation back to you already. Mr. Evaluator and word grammarian.
Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Nicole. Peggy, can we have a timer's report from Nicole's evaluation?
Yes, Nicole spoke for 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
All right, good job today. Nicole talked about the things that she liked about Jennifer's presentation and offered some very constructive suggestions on how she can improve as she goes forward. One thing that I would suggest is that those slides were pretty busy, Jennifer. So I know that you wanted to make sure people were watching and looking, and they're very colorful, as Nicole said, but I thought, to me, they were a little busy. There was almost a little bit too much information, but I really enjoyed the presentation today. The word usage today, Francesca used for store once, Maria once, Nicole 4 times, Etta once, and I used it once. I heard some good word usage today. Francesca used all the new words that we've learned today in her Minute Master presentation. Unleashed, silver lining, trigger. Maria used commotion. Nicole had great words today. Flexible worker, de-age, radical transformation, horrific, excelled, perfect practice, and shebang. I like that. Ahs and ums, Jennifer, you have a tendency to use then and then ah a lot in your presentation. Maybe if you just slow down a little bit, you wouldn't have to do that. Just a suggestion. And I found Nicole had one off. So great job today. And that is my general evaluation report. I'll return control to our Toastmaster, Maria.
Thank you, George, for doing the general evaluator and also not losing sight of your duties as the Word Master Grammarian and listening so well. That concludes my work as Toastmaster this morning. I now return control to our president, Jennifer.
Thank you. What a great meeting. And as I sat down, there was an email that came through about wire fraud pop quiz. So every day we are reminded about wire fraud. So it's kind of scary that it happens, but it does. It does. And it still does. As many times as we try to educate our realtors, it still happens. All right, on that note, do we have any comments from Etta?
As always, I enjoy the meeting. I love coming here on a Friday morning.
Well, thank you for coming as always. Do we have any announcements or brag bucks? Anything exciting?
I have none of that, but I do have a couple of comments. Well, one is because I want to take the opportunity to, Peggy, last week when we spoke, if you could take a minute and write something on my evaluation form and send it back.
Didn't I do that?
If you did, I missed it. I will look. If you did, I apologize for bringing it up. But if you haven't, I'll look on my emails because that way I have some.
I'm glad that you did because I'm missing evaluations from 2 different speeches that I did, and I don't know whether it's me or what, but I'll resend it.
Okay, that would be wonderful. And the one comment I wanted to make is for Etta. Etta, the question that you were asked today was a challenging question. I was thinking, how would I have answered that? So I congratulate you for first thinking that you couldn't answer it and then doing an excellent job in dealing with it. So I think you did a great job.
I concur.
Recovering and going
Thanks.
forward with it.
I just had to hear it again.
Yeah.
I
And you
kind
were
of
on time without the
understood
timer
first
too.
time.
That's real impressive. Perfect time.
Great on that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention too, Maria. Any other comments? Brad?
I'm going to be doing a speech for Scarlet Hope tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing another speech on health in July. And I have scheduling conflicts of why you haven't seen me, and I've been studying a little bit, but it's because of Toastmasters that I've gained heightened confidence in that, and I'll let you guys know how it goes.
So where is this tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be at the Crossings Church, and it's actually a 2-day conference, and I'm actually in town for a wedding. That same couple is getting married twice because it's African tradition. So you guys pray for my energy there, because I'm just going to just show my face and leave. But it's one of my mentees. She insisted that I be there, so no invitation. She just insisted that I be there. So I'm here for that, in addition to bringing that speech to those individuals. So I'll let you guys know how it goes.
All right.
All right, cool. So next week's schedule, I haven't seen it. If anybody has it pulled up.
No, because Lori's still putting it together. It's our first meeting in July. And she asked everyone to get their availability to her by Sunday, the 27th.
Okay.
I replied to her yesterday because I was on the computer when I got it, so I'm
Yeah, I did
good
too.
on it. But you said we're having the installation next week, right? That's
Yes, and we're having installation of our officers next week. So,
Who's doing the installation?
it is Rick Sparrow.
Oh, cool, good.
He actually just left his Albertsons job of 26 years. I think he's going into real estate.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm sorry, Jennifer, I missed that. What did you say?
He left his job at Albertsons yesterday, and he's going into real estate.
Oh,
Yeah, so which is good.
He's a real go-getter.
And Tanya just messaged me saying that she planned on being there, but her rod, which is exercise, ran a little bit late, and she's like, I don't know where my mind is. We're all getting scattered brain because, like I'm saying, that it's crazy busy, and we've lost our brains. So, but it'll be back. I think July usually is a quiet month because of 4th of July and it being hot. So we'll see if anything restores back to normal. There's my word, I didn't use it. All right, on that note, look for your, look for the schedule. And then you can also look for it online to see what roles, if you did not tell Lori which roles that you want, she will assign you a role. And on that note, and look for my email over the weekend as well about debates and unique propositions.
And the makeup training.
And the makeup training.
yeah, please. I just talk about blowing things. Oh my God.
Maybe the heat fried all of our brains. Who knows? All right, guys. On that note, we can end early, and we will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck, Nicole.